In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 best decks post Photon Hypernova. We're going to go into ways you can beat them and most importantly, the choke points of each deck, so you know exactly what to hit and how to hit them. Let's get into it. Before we do, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We hit 1,000 subscribers finally. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Hope we can get to 10k as the next milestone. Coming up first is Spright. So Spright is obviously going to live on. The deck just never dies. An archetype like Gishki, for example, coming along in Photon Hypernova. I don't think it stops there. I think Tri-Brigade Spright will become the second best version of Spright, potentially Runic Spright. So ways we can hit the deck is Drawn and Lockbird will shut down the Gishki strategy really well. Blue searches, jet searches. Now you have all the Gishki cards searching. It's going to be really easy to turn off the whole engine if you can resolve Drawn and Lockbird. The card is Cyclone Gamma. So we saw this card when Spright released. It can destroy the level 2 that was on the field. If the level 2 on the field is destroyed, they don't even have another level 2 to special summon from, so that shuts off the entire Spright engine, the entire Spright game plan. Hitting the Gigantic Spright can also hit the Spright Sprint to completely neutralize the deck. Gozen Match is really good against Spright. They're now split between water and dark, primarily with some fire types like Spright Elf. So I think Gozen will actually be a really cool card going into the Spright matchup and potentially rival the Warlords as well. The deck isn't solely focused on Thunder anymore. Now even Rivalry is going to shut them down too. If you really hate Spright,
got my attention.
The Band Playdon is an exceptional Floodgate, and it's actually a really good Floodgate into Kashtira, guys. Don't forget that. It's for any level. So if you have a level 7 on the field, Band Playdon will stop you from summoning another one, and it goes the exact same for rank 7. So I think that's a really funny Floodgate because the card is going to have a lot of good matchups like Spright and Kashtira. I don't want to waste too much time on this one because it's been set to death, stopping all the fusion effects that happen in the graveyard, or just resolving Shifter before they do anything, which will pass their turn, or summoning the Abyss Dweller. But if you want to get more specific, it's always nice to hit the Kalos Engrave.
Here, my little friend. Don't be afraid.
But when they try to summon Kalos, they can't. And that's a really nice way of teching the Nibiru in. And suddenly Nibiru is actually a really good card against the deck. I think that is a really nice combo, and we might see more of that going into the future as people get sick and tired of Ishi's Tearlament and they just want to destroy the deck completely without giving it a chance. So Kashtira is obviously the new archetype coming out of Photon Hypernova. Really the most powerful support. The main reason why you want to play the deck with Kashtira Rise Heart. But some tactics you can use against them, speaking of tactics, is the tasking into tactics combo, because the Shangri-La will most likely always resolve the standby special summoning a Kashtira. Your tasking is live, activate tasking, add a tactics. Then as a mandatory effect, Arisa will actually add a banish card into its Exceed materials, triggering the tactics talent. Now means you can steal it, might have a 4 to 6 materials use because of that play. So that's a really nice combo you can do against Kashtira. But something that's probably more accessible and more easy is just Nibiruing them because of a lack of negation. The adventure engine is even getting more popular because of Kashtira, but if they don't have the adventure engine, Nibiru is going to wipe the board. Some other ways to stop Kashtira and stop them dead in their tracks is obviously hitting the Kashtira Unicorn with a Imperm, which is probably the most popular one. If you voted on my recent poll, Imperm is the clear winner. And also using Ash Blossom against the Kashtira Papyrus, which is really the breakthrough card for Kashtira unless they have an extender. Finally, some really easy cards if you just want to take out Kashtiras: activate Imperial Iron Wall, activate Artifact Lancia, maybe Chaos Hunter. If you want a more in-depth guide into them, I highly recommend my hand trap tier list video, which I'll put up on the screen. And let's move on to the next deck, which is branded Bystial. The deck has a lot going for it, and with the 2 new fusion monsters, the Finale Dragon and Lindwurm, they now have negation. I never thought I'd see branded and negation in the same sentence, but it seems like Kaijus might make a resurface. Lava Golem especially, potentially the Sphere mode. Easy counters to Bystial branded is D-Barrier, but don't think they can't play without it. Of course, the Bystials are really strong, they can still win the game without fusions. And then lastly, as always, the first rule against branded is Ash the branded fusion. Always keep your Ash Blossom, don't get baited. The ceiling of branded is going to drop way down because of that Ash Blossom. There are some contenders for the 5th spot. I've got Labyrinth and I've got Dragon Link. So Dragon Link, very similar to decks that search a lot. You can draw and lockbird them. If you can couple Nibiru with a Veiler or Imperm, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna wipe their whole field. Unfortunately, the counters for Dragon Link aren't that obvious. You can actually tech your own Bystials against them. At the same time, they have Chaos Space. So I wonder if Bystials really do counter them. We're talking about Labyrinth. Of course, Labyrinth is a deck that released in Tactical Masters. The monsters give you a lot of advantage every time you activate a normal trap, and most importantly, the virus cards. If a Labyrinth player goes first and they activate a virus card, how are you supposed to win the game if you have nothing in your hand? I feel like that's a really obvious strategy. If they ever go first, they might just win the game, and it's going to be really tough to come back from that. If you don't like the Kashtira format, you just want to learn something, I highly recommend checking out Labyrinth. And that's been my top 5 list of decks you need to watch out for post Photon Hypernova. If you want to edge against the best decks in the room, then this is the video for you. I hope you guys find it useful. Of course, with every deck there are different fringe situations, so some of these might not even work and there might be other ways to beat them. Let's see if Photon Hypernova releases any crazy TCG exclusive cards. With that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Expect another tier list video coming out soon. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.